1059 The Region, everywhere you are.
The Black Eyed Peas, 1059 The Region at 3:15. I'm Shalisa Backus with you on this beautiful Friday, and this is the perfect Friday for another artist spotlight, and we are joined live in studio by Maddy Ringo. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
We are so excited to have you on, and I mentioned this before. You've got such a diverse musical background. You've done a lot. You worked for the Canadian Opera Company. You've done Broadway shows or like musicals and stuff. So how has it been transitioning from that into the music that you make now?
It's been an interesting transition. It's definitely, I think, growing up with a classical background, you definitely learn, like, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, you're fired. Like, it gives you a really kind of good sense of discipline of, like, show up as prepared as you can, like, do your best, and, like, leave the rest on the stage, which I am very grateful for. But it's definitely, I had to adjust to, like, musician time, you know, showing up to a sound check and somebody being like, yeah, the sound guy's probably going to be here in, like, an hour. And I was like, oh, okay.
Hey,
that's how we're doing things.
Maybe you should play the if you're late, you're fired card. But I just think that that's so cool. I feel like that's giving you a discipline that maybe not a lot of other people have.
For sure. I think so. And I think it also just gives you like a really deep musical understanding that I'm very grateful for that training, even if I'm not singing opera.
Yeah. And speaking of which, what have you brought from that training to the music that you make now? I'm sure like the vocal techniques, some are similar.
Yeah, a lot of how to not destroy your voice, how to have the flexibility of styles, you know, like I do a lot of like jazz at school, and you know, I've sung weird ambient pop vocals on friends' like techno songs, and it's just having that flexibility to like really understand how your instrument works. And if somebody says, can you apply like this kind of sound or this kind of sound, and you can do it and like know how to do that in a healthy way.
Yeah, and that's great, and you won't ruin your voice. It's always going to be in the back of your mind.
For sure.
Like I used to sing back in the day too, and it was just like training your voice is the most important thing, because you can ruin it so easily. Yep. It's
kind of funny. My producer always laughs at me because I'll, you know, have a kind of bad vocal take and I'll be like, okay, hold on, just like don't laugh at me. And I'll just sing some like giant operatic arpeggio and be like, okay, I'm good now. Or like stick out my tongue and start going like, ah, la, 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 la. And he's like, what are you doing? Like, I promise it helps.
You know what that reminds me of? You remember like High School Musical when Sharpay and Ryan are doing their warm-up?
Yep. No, it is like that. It is
I
like
love that. Maybe you'll do some of those warm-ups for us on our live stream.
Maybe I will
later on.
If you're lucky.
Well, yeah, we'll see. By the way, Maddy is going to be performing live on our Instagram at the 905 Region, as well as our TikTok at 1059 The Region. Now, Maddy, we've got some music from you coming up. We've got the song Canopy coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
For sure. It's just my weird little love song that I wrote about thinking you're finally kind of done with this, you know, done with the chronic boy problems, and just like I'm walking away, like it's over, and then like somebody comes along and you're like, okay, maybe not, maybe one more.
See, now that's the thing. Are we ever really done?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Nope.
Is it inspired by anything, dare I ask?
It is inspired by the relationship that I'm in right now. Yeah, it is.
But it's working out.
It is working out really well. It is, and that's what this song was about, you know?
It's the good side of things.
It is the good side of things. It is this is really nice. Oh, you know, like.
And what genre would you actually consider yourself? Like, how would you classify this song?
I think indie folk is a word that's been kind of beat to death. It's just like a term that I don't want to have to put myself under, but I don't really know what else to call it. I'd say it's a folk song. It is a folk song, and I can never escape that.
Well, I love that. And you know what? I feel like that just gives us the opportunity to hear something different and love something different, because I feel like that's what music does. It just brings us new things that we never expected to like.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. We're going to chat more with you coming up, but for now, why don't you go ahead and introduce a song for us?
Wonderful. This is Canopy.
Maddy Ringo, everybody. We'll have more coming up. Stay tuned. Alanis Morissette, 1059 The Region at 3:44, about to be 3:45 on this Friday. I'm Shalisa Backus, back with Maddy Ringo as part of our Artist Spotlight. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
We've been having some interesting conversations.
We have,
off the air. I think they're going to stay off the air. But let's get back to you and your music. You know, you said you don't like the term indie folk, but I mean, I feel like all of the genres are starting to melt together now. And
Very
this
much.
is something I can say we were talking about off the air. A lot of people listen to so many different genres now. And I feel like the way people receive music now is so different than it was, let's say, a decade ago. So how do you feel like you can appeal to people who like different things?
I mean, I think just the potential that you have with computer music and music technology today is just so crazy. Just the amount of inspiration that you can take from so many different things. Like you can have, this like miking vocal sound that is like kind of R&B, and you can like add like some kind of synth that is like reminiscent of some other style, and like there's so much sort of melding that I think people kind of play with genre and like genre bending, which I just think is really cool. And I think that is part of the reason why people listen to so much different, like such a variety of musical styles, is just because I think that like with my stuff, I just want to make music that sounds good and that people can like relate to and really like feel in their soul. And if that means kind of like getting out of my own little dug in genre, like I would love to do that.
Well, let me tell you, your music definitely does sound good. I can confirm that is true. And what else inspires you? Any specific artists, any specific songs?
Yeah, I think Joni Mitchell is a big inspiration. I really love how conversational her music is, and I love how it just sort of like it kind of cuts into some part of, especially like just this feminine soul that is like, you are like watching me through these speakers right now, and it's like it's uncomfortable. So I think a lot of that sort of very conversational, like classic folk style. But I think also a lot of music of today, like I love Bright Eyes. I really like that kind of, it's like it has a folk sound and it has that kind of crash bang like folk band sound, but it's the stuff that he's saying is so today, it's so like Conor Oberst is just like, he's speaking about his own life of the modern world, but like in this style that is very kind of familiar to us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are looking for now in their music. It's not so much about the catchy pop tunes. It's about what people can relate to. And I feel like that's what I appreciate about artists like you. You're writing from real experiences. You're writing from your soul, really.
Yeah.
And how do you feel as though that has worked for you? Like, do you sometimes feel like maybe you put out a song and you're like, I don't know if I want to bear this part of me, but...
I think I've always been too much of an open book to ever really have that thought. I think people really appreciate feeling heard and seen by, the media they consume. And I think especially in Gen Z is so kind of open in that way of having very honest kind of parts of your personality just out to the world, and people can be like, yeah, relate, like me too.
Same.
I think that's cool.
And tell us about performing then and connecting with your audience. What does it feel like for you when you're on that stage?
That's the best part of it. I mean, that's why I do it. And I think that's a big part of the folk spirit, and being a songwriter is just wanting to have that sort of two-way relationship where you can learn from your audience and the way they respond to things, and like they can learn from you in like, the listening to what you're saying.
And yeah, absolutely. So what's next for you then?
Next for me is some more gigging around, especially in Michigan and even back here in Toronto while I'm home for the summer, and then a big record. The big record is we're starting recording in August, and just getting the whole band together.
Sounds like so much fun. So we've got another song from you right now, and it's called The Last Subway Train.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about this song.
So I wrote this song in about a minute when I woke up from this really hellish afternoon nap.
I'm sorry, 1 minute.
Nightmare, yes. Most of the lyric came out in about a minute.
Wow.
I had this dream that I was being attacked by a falcon on my friend's living room futon, and then I woke up and I wrote a song about grieving love, which I don't really know how that tied in, but it happened. It just kind of came out. It just like came from my subconscious, which I thought was really cool, and it's probably one of my favorite songs I've ever written.
It's interesting that you remember a nightmare you had all of those times ago, because like we often forget those things.
I know.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I love that about you. All right, Maddy, thank you so much for joining us. A reminder, Maddy is going to be performing live in our lobby. You can stream that live on our Instagram page at the 905 Region, as well as our TikTok at 1059 The Region. And Maddy, one last time, go ahead and introduce your song for us.
This is The Last Subway Train.
Thank you, Maddy.
Thank you.
I swear I saw the falcon's claws and the blood that you kissed from my head. I swear that I still feel the look in your eyes when I know that you care. On to the last subway train. On and on. Mattress on the darkened floor, I dreamed with a rage in my spine. Shook it out, the fears and doubts that I had about you from our time. A midget humid skies, my words twisting tight round your neck. You believed what I had seen, and twice you denied me to them. I once knew the sound of your footsteps, now I choke on your trembling name. Oh, empty car, still me I swear I saw the falcon's claws and the blood that you kissed from my hair. I swear that I still feel the look in your eyes when I know that you care. On and on.
Find you on social media, all that fun stuff. Where can we do that?
Maddy Ringo everywhere, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, maddyringo.com, all of it.
Love that. Thank you, Maddy.
Thank you.